Okay everyone, in this video we're going to look at creating some graphics for your Facebook adverts, and we're going to look at a tool that we use here at Rocket Marketing Hub called Canva.com. It's a great little tool that we found a few months ago, and it doesn't cost any money, which is really useful, and it creates some really stunning designs very easily. So you don't even have to be a graphic designer to be able to create a nice looking image here. So if you go to Canva, which is canva.com, you'll see a homepage that looks a little bit like this. You have two options when you log in. You can either log in with social media, so you can use Facebook, or you can log in with your Google+. Alternatively, you can set up an account with an email address and password if you choose. So in this instance, I'm going to log in with Facebook. It will ask you the first time that you do that to basically confirm with Facebook that you're happy for it to log into Canva. And when you get in there, you'll see a page that looks a little bit like this, which shows all your previous graphics that you've done. So you can see quite a few of the adverts that I've been creating recently there, and you'll see some options for some templates here. So if the good thing about Canva is you can use it for lots of different things. So you could create a Facebook cover picture, you could use it for a social media image, a presentation, a poster, Facebook posts, Instagram posts. And we clicked on more, there's loads of other stuff that we could do. Pinterest graphics, YouTube channel art, Twitter headers, email headers, menus, all sorts of things. And if you clicked in, let's see what a menu looks like on here. So if we clicked into the menu, you've got some different templates, and that will be really handy there. And we can zoom in a little bit there, and we can amend this really easily. So we just click on where we want to amend it, and we'll just change that to a J, and that's really straightforward. You can change all these different things on the menu, and it will be saved instantly. And that's really handy. If you wanted to change that logo to your own, you would just click on there and you would delete that out and then just put your own logo in via uploads. If you make a mistake, you press the back arrow there, so that'll bring that back for you straight away, which is really handy. So it's a really straightforward system, as you can see. So what we're going to do here is create a Facebook advert for you guys that we can use. So if we go back to this page here, for some strange reason, although they have all these different templates, they don't have one for Facebook adverts, which I find a little odd, but that doesn't matter. So we can do that ourselves. So we click in the top right here where it says use custom dimensions, and a small box will come up. Facebook guidelines tell us that the Facebook advert image size is 600 pixels by 315 in height. So we click 600 by 315, and then we click design. A new tab will open, and you'll get a blank box where your advert is ready to be made, which is great. So you can change different layouts and stuff like that if you wanted to do that. So you can have it so it's 3 lots of images, or you can have it so it's split in half, but we don't want that. So we're just looking for one image that's 600 by 315. So we'll ignore those layouts in this instance. So normally I will start with a background. So we need to think about things that are going to stand out in Facebook. So if we remember, Facebook is very white and very blue, so we need colors that are contrasting to that, that are going to pop and make that person's attention be drawn to your advert. But we don't want to do it in such a crude way as well that it doesn't look professional for your business. So they have some default images here that you can use as a background for free, and then once we scroll a little lower, then they have some paid backgrounds that we can use as well. Alternatively, you can upload your own background. So if you have your own photos of maybe your retail shop, then they could be really useful to upload here, and that would be really straightforward. You just click uploads and upload your image, whatever image you've got. That will upload into here, and then you'll just click on that and it will push that into that space there. So that's an advert that we've recently used. So The background is really straightforward, so if you wanted to use a paid one, you can test these as well, and they don't charge you any money until you decide to go ahead. So you can make your whole advert and it'll have the watermark on there, and at the end, if you decide to purchase that image, you just need to pay for it, and the watermark will be removed when you download that, which is really handy. So you can just see what things will look like before you purchase, which is quite unique. You don't really get that with other tools that I've seen on the market. So I quite like these images. This image here actually is one of my favourites. And once that's uploaded, if I click on the background again, I can actually change the colour of that, because grey's not really going to stand out massively. So we could go for a red, we could go for a yellow, or alternatively we could use a colour palette if we click on the plus, and we can drag this little circle around until we find a colour that we feel will pop and stand out on Facebook. So that green looks okay for now. So we then need to consider text on this. Now, Facebook does limit us a lot with text. We're only allowed 20% of this image area to contain text. So we need to make sure that we don't use too much text. But to use text is really straightforward. We click on the text box here, we click on add text, and then that will add a little box here, type in whatever we want. And if we want to change the font, we look at the drop down. I'm a big fan of Schoolbell, which is a handwritten font, which is somewhere a little bit further down here. And we can change the size of the font. We can change the color of the font by clicking there. If we want to position the font somewhere else, that looks pretty awful, so let's change that to black. Then we just drag wherever we want that to go. So that's how easy this is to use, as opposed to some of the really complicated editing tools. Then I quite like to add icons to my adverts. I think they look quite fun. And a great site that I've used to find those is a site called Icon Finder, and it's iconfinder.com. I'll put that below this video as well. So if we were looking for images related to stop, which is a recent search that I did, you'll see that we get like a hand, we get things similar to stop signs or no smoking signs, or a stopwatch in that instance. So they're quite fun. They're like graphics that you can use to make your advert stand out. If you wanted something a bit more image focused and a real image, you could use a website called iStock Photo. So if we put stop into that, you'll see you'll get real stop signs, and you'll get like pictures of people telling you to stop and stuff like that. So it's a bit more expensive. iStock. Icon Finder, the first site, is about $1 for an image. They do have some free ones. I'm not sure how much iStock is, but it can be as much as like $10, $20 for an image. Another good site for images is a site called photojune.net. I'll put that again posted below. And PhotoJune is great. Let's see what their stop images look like. I find it a little cheaper than iStock. So if we look at this one, you can see this is $5, but it goes as low as $1 depending on the size of the image that you need. So $2, so it's a lot cheaper than iStock, and normally you can find exactly what you need. So I've already got some images uploaded, so I'll go back to my uploads. We use the exclamation mark here, and we can, once we put an image in, we just drag it in the corner as big or as small as we want. So that's really, really easy. And we can have multiple versions of that if we needed. For whatever reason, it might be something you want in there lots of times. Or you could use an image as a background. So it might be that you want, for example, here's an image that I've purchased that is some wood. And if you want to put that as the background, you can press the back button and it'll push it behind everything there. We can stretch it so it's slightly bigger. And we've got a nice wooden effect there, which is quite good. So probably want to change that font to white on that. So it's really, really straightforward, and you have to test and play around with this as much as you can, but it really, really does work really easily. So if you want to find out how much text you're using in your image to see whether you're going to get approved, Facebook has a tool called the grid tool, which basically allows you to see how big, how much text you've got in your image, and see whether they're going to allow you to get through their approval process. So we could use this image here. Once that's quickly finished saving, let's just try, if we download a test copy of that here. So it takes a few seconds to download. Let's save that. And we'll go to the Facebook tool here, we'll browse. There's our image in our downloads. That will upload to the tool here. Take a few more seconds and we should be there. Okay, great. So basically what Facebook's saying here is click on all boxes that contain text to see whether your image is covered by less than 20% text. So if we just click on any box that has basically got text in it, and then this will tell us that this is covering 16%. So what we can do is actually reposition that text. So they say it's 20%, but it's actually 20% of the boxes in the grid. So just by having that test covering 4 boxes, we're actually using a lot more space with our allocation than we could be. So what we could do if we needed some more space is potentially reduce the size of that. I'll show you what I mean here. So if we put that in the corner there, then we should, if you see, only be using one of the boxes then. So what's that 4% we'd be using with the same wording, and just reposition it so we know that it's only going to fill that box in the top left there. So I hope that makes sense. It's fairly straightforward to create nice looking adverts with Canva, and I hope you give it a try, and good luck, and hope you make some great looking adverts and are really successful with that. Any questions, just let us know in the comments below. Thanks very much.